There we go. Hello. And we are live. For those starting to tune in, welcome to the art team office hours of Resonite. I'm Aegis Wolf, part of the art team of Resonite and Yellow Dogman Studios. I'm currently in a version of the Cloud Home that's still in progress, but pretty much it's getting there. Hello, Marty. Welcome to the stream. Earlier, I was with Ryuvi, another member of the art team, working on updating the light fixtures within the Resonite essentials as well as in the worlds that we're working on updating. New materials, new features to kind of make it easier to change the lights and things like that. I'm definitely open for questions on what we've been working on, general questions on the platform, making content for Resonite, or using it as a tool to make stuff outside of Resonite too. There we go. I do have Twitch chat in here in World, as well as my trusty inspector and multi-tool. So I kind of have answered that question what Marty asked. What kind of stuff have you been working on in a cloud hole? If you know the tale of the ship of Theseus, that pretty much explains what we're doing with all the beginners worlds and default worlds that we've been working on in the past. Basically taking all the stuff that we've made over time, replace it and optimize it, update it with newer techniques, and yeah. So far right now, in the starting area right here, or in this landing area of the cloud home, it looks like a furniture store with the amount of lights here, but these are the new updated ones we're just testing out. A lot of the ones that are still in the world are the old ones that we gotta replace, but these have a lot of neat little features, including also this panel here. This is what Raivi was helping out too with. So I can like control the different types of lights and change like the intensity of each light. Also updated the materials of it as well. Can change the color of it. So if I click on this, I can just change the color to whatever you like. Let me just cancel that, and then it'll just be the default color. Whenever you spawn these lights out and it doesn't have this controller here, it'll just default to this nice warm yellow. Wonder if I can undo right where that's back on the table. One more. There we go. Another thing I've been working on lately is moving some new particles that Ryuvi made in the Avatar world that we've been working on into here to update the tree leaves here. I just need to move them around where they need to go. Right now it's based off of the trees in the other world. That's why there's leaves all around the room here. Welcome to the stream, Wind Tucker. And I've been going through and updating and organizing the whole hierarchy within the cloud home. We got our particles right here. I'm going to be splitting the skybox into a couple different parts as well too. Like the main gradients and clouds, and then the islands and ships and all that on another part as well. Welcome to the stream, Backlar. folks just tuning in, this is the art team office hours. I'm just working on updating the cloud home, but I am definitely open to questions for content or art related things in regards to Resonite, making stuff for Resonite, or using Resonite to make things outside of Resonite, and general questions about the platform too. Definitely open for that. Just don't mind the ramblings and just working on stuff here today. Actually, I'm gonna move that ceiling fan out of the way. There we go. Replace this one first. That one was gonna replace the one that was prior there, but did a update to that one in particular again. So if I just drag it over here, boop, boop, and boop, turn off grabbable. All these new lights, by the way, are in the essentials already, so they should be up to par with the latest versions of them. As for the panel, I'll have to poke gravy about if that could be like just move from world to world and just be self-contained. And good question, Baplar. So it's not just a cloud home, it's also making a new world that is avatar based, the avatar gazebo, which I do have it open. This world. So I'm going to go into no clip and just kind of zoom out here. This already has been replaced with all the different new pieces, minus the lights. I have to update those again as I replace them with a slightly newer version. But yeah. Oh, also, this thing that was in the cloud home is now self-contained and in the essentials as well too. As well as a blank poster was made. Of course, we'll make more things for this world, like accessories, some avatars that we can use we'll add into there, and of course information panels. I'm going to head back so I can see chat. I didn't spawn a chat in here. You know what? I'm going to spawn a chat in here as well, so that I have you folks here and in the cloud home. There we go. As well as we're updating the tutorial world. It's just there's a little bit more specific things we gotta do in there because of some animations we have, whether it be when you first load in or when you move the whole platform that moves around. Just a couple more extra things we gotta set up on there. But figured get these two worlds as well as a fourth world that we use to kind of demonstrate Resonite to businesses, and that'll be released too, because it just has a lot of open stuff that we found that could be good use case to show businesses that hey, you can use it for different use cases. Hmm. Oh, I. Is this even lined up correctly? Okay, so I move it to the new light fixtures and hide that one. No. This. That's missing something there. Oh. Thank you for the subscription, Tucker. There we go. That is bright. That's probably because of all the other lights here. Okay. I think I will borrow the base of this and just copy it over there. This chat, if you're wondering, if anyone's wondering, this is made by Jack the Fox Otter. They have a public folder with this in. It is Twitch Chat Pro. Even has its own little plugin system. Hmm. So far, they're okay to over the question that Baplar asks. In your replacement sprees so far, have you noticed any performance improvements due to shared materials and primitive colliders, or is it very marginal? It's hard to tell in some cases. Like with the Avatar Gazebo, I'm running 90 frames in here right now because of the camera and all that. I'm running like 27 right now, but that's due to having the stream and a couple other things running in the background. But there is some improvements, and some of it will also be on loading times because there's less assets to load because a lot of it's shared. Like all the different plants are now using the same material, even that the particle effects floating around. Those are like the same leaf materials that are on the trees and, and on the ground there. In regards to the cloud home specifically, there are some like areas that kind of have some performance hit, but I think it will be fixed when not only we add some more toggles within that control panel there, or in like world settings within this world, and the splitting, as Fruks puts it, when Resonite's uh, code isn't running on Mono and it's running on Net framework instead. And also, I have a lot of lights right here too. I have yet to replace the lighting fixtures in here, which makes me wonder if that light is missing the little light base on that lamp. And it's probably missing it in the essentials, and that means I should probably replace it first in there. Oh, the old ones are still in there too. Okay, yeah, it's missing it. Let's fix this first. UIX is definitely something that takes a bit to learn. But being able to just mess around with like the hierarchies in here, like is easier on me personally than trying to like code something up, see how it changed things, and then code it again, compile it, which is how the other UI pieces within here are like all hard coded. That's why it's kind of hard to update that stuff, but Brooks wants to make it so that all the UI pieces are able to be customizable and updatable by the art team. So I'm gonna close some of these here and just have this here and this. That's not a right scale. Or is it? Actually, that could be the right scale. No, that is definitely not the right scale. Oh, just missed a question here by Marty SH. I noticed the color dialog has an orange border when it's grabbed. Why does no other UI panel do this? That is a good point. A good question. I think that's to show that it's being grabbed. Although there are other pieces of UI that still need to be updated, like the inspector itself. That'll be an update of its own to add new features and to make it easily customizable, not only by the art team to make good defaults, but also for anyone else to make their own custom ones. So, definitely more UI pieces can follow that kind of design language in the future. I think in this case, I'll just downscale that manually. No, I have a better way of doing this. Just take this entire thing, duplicate it, turn off this wiggler component, reset its rotation, move this onto the hanging light here, scale it properly so it is in the right spot. It's still not in the right spot. What's going on here? Is that actually lined up to that? That is my question. It is. Okay. So I get the hanging light base, place it there, delete the duplicate one that I brought in there, and then slightly move this manually right there. Should do it. Good. Now I can resave that and see if that actually replaces the one up there. Ah, that's also another good question. Who composed the music for Resonite? Well, he's streaming right now. And I am actually also updating the music in a tutorial. For the Cloud Home specifically, though, a community member by the name of Fur created that music. It is also in a music disc right here as well. If you want to listen to it again. It only plays for the first time a user opens their Cloud Home. Or made their own lo-fi rendition of the theme that Ryuv and I created. And it is within the Cloud Home itself. Okay. So this one, the one that we gotta replace here. Yes. And before I use this to replace it, I'm going to save this in the essentials and delete all the old ones that are in there so that we don't confuse folks with the old versions of these. And it's all synced. Good. And let's do that. That is bright. We can just yeet the old one. And it lines up perfectly with the ceiling. Let's make it not grabbable so I don't do that again. Wind Tucker, that definitely describes pretty much everyone on the team wears a lot of different hats. from working on stuff in Worlds to doing legal stuff when trying to start up a business to uh, doing businesses with other businesses or marketing or coding, trust and safety with moderation. Like there, a lot of things have overlap here and there, but there's people that have their specialties with what they do. Do I have a sun gun already there? Oh, this is the one that spun out in the world. I'll just leave you right there. I'll be updating that with a custom model eventually too. Hopefully before we release the new versions of this. Yeah, I still gotta replace those wall lights. I think I'll replace the ceiling fan next, since that's pretty large. Go in here. Let's eat the old one. Oh, before I do that, I need to position the new one so it lines up perfectly. That, and that. No grabbable. And place it in there. And we find the ceiling fan here. Okay, that's a simple fix. Just rotate it 90 degrees. Or rotate it 180 degrees. And there we go. To control the speed of the fan, that same panel I was showing earlier also has that fan speed. I'm wondering if we can also duplicate that panel down there. I'll poke review about that after the stream. Oh, another question from Baplar. Will the updated Cloud Home be updated a couple of times by increments, or all at once when you're done? In previous versions, we updated it incrementally, but there's like a lot of different stuff that accumulated due to like how the old set was. And there's going to be a lot of GitHub issues that were made, or like content-wise, that will be done all at once in this case. Those are kind of like adding a refreshing or a new coat of paint. Refurbishing is the best way to put it of everything we got. As one thing we also want to do too in the future is spend some more time to make a more narrative experience for like new users when they load in. Think of like Portal when you start up the game, you go through like a narrative experience, learning all the different mechanics. Of course, not everyone is gonna like that, so we're gonna make it so that people can choose how they want to learn about Resonite. When they come in, they can go through that narrative experience, or they can go straight into a world if they want to, or they can like build things, maybe make their avatar if they want, or find an avatar, find games to play. We're now to build things in here with the tools that we have. And that pretty much summarizes it too, Baplar. It is definitely spring cleaning. Oh, another question from Marty SH. What video... Okay, I gotta make that camera not move. What video are you planning to replace the old video with in the MIDI theater room? Honestly, don't know yet. We don't kind of have a new trailer per se, but we can probably think of something to put there. More or less, it's just a simple, like, video. And anybody can just put in their URLs and just watch videos or streams in there. So, actually, what they're talking about to kind of show the stream here, if you walk down this pathway here, you'll get into the theater room we're just in. And this is that video player. I just have a whole bunch of text around in the place right now to kind of note what needs to be replaced or updated. So you can actually grab this and move it around, kind of adjust itself based off of pivot point. It's all self-contained, so if somebody really wants to remove it, they can. It's just within the uh, theater room props, which I'm going to have to organize all the light fixtures into the different rooms later. But yeah. This video player is specifically designed just for this world in particular. It's pretty much almost identical to the one that's default, just with the added thing of moving it around. There isn't really much that's changed with it, but yeah. But what did change as well too is these anchors here. Originally they just had a simple single anchor where you can just sit down in a particular spot for these furniture pieces. After looking at different worlds that people have uploaded, as well as MMC entries, I noticed that people used a kind of like a uh, kind of like a planner or space where you can like sit anywhere you want. But I also added a couple of extra things to it too. So if you'll notice, if I walk around this thing, this little arrow faces me. So if I want to sit at this angle facing behind me, I could. I even did that with this too. I did show this in the previous stream, but figured I'd note it here too. It is using a plane actually. The way I'm making it look at me is actually using the look at component. So that whole snap plane is just on a plane that's just the size of this cylinder here around it, and it's just looking at me. Although there's probably a change I'll do to one of the furniture pieces. I go up here. Although there is some oddities we've discovered when messing around with multi-user anchors, mainly to do with scale. So if someone's in a small avatar, they go in there, they're avatar size, and then as soon as they come out of it, they're at like 1-to-1 scale, so they're like ginormous compared to what they usually are. As well as I'm trying to get like a planar or plane that can also follow a circle. Right now what I did over here is I kind of cheated a little and made a whole bunch of flat planes in a rough circle here by making 1, 2, 3, and 4 different anchors arrays. But all these anchor planes all share the same template anchors, so it's not using too much. No, it does. Okay, to answer Windtucker's question, does the look at me freak out when you sit down? No. Because it's a separate thing. So, your character controller, or not character controller, your character anchor, when you sit down, it's a separate object from the uh, look at object. I mean, technically it would if you're like in a very center, but it wouldn't affect you when you're sitting down. Now, one of the things that I might change is how this little stool works, as it kind of faces you, although I've seen people try to sit as if like they go over it and sit on it, so I might just swap it and spin it around. Did I leave a inspector down here? No. Good. Where did my inspector go? There it is. I'll just make a new one. You ever left a tool or inspector in a world and then published it? It happened to me during MMC. Marty SH asks. Yes, actually, a couple of times. Whether it be the tutorial world here, or I think one other world. Oh, also the local world is going to have an update as well, too, with a new texture and a couple tweaks to how the lighting is. Yeah, I do remember accidentally doing that. Or leaving something grabbable. One thing that was a GitHub issue was this flag right here was grabbable, so now it isn't. And it's like one of the many small things that will just be updated once we just do everything. And that way you like to do. Okay, what shall I place next? Let's replace these. One thing I do have to do is turn off the wiggler component. Yeah, I'll just keep it off. And start replacing these light fixtures with it. If we go under lighting reflections, lights route. There we go. We got two of them here. Make it non-grabbable. Drag it over there. Reset all transforms. I really wish that was a button to just click it all at once. I'll make that a GitHub issue or request. And it is very tiny. That is a simple fix. Let's put it in a new folder here. Okay, that's its 1:1 scale, but I wonder if we put it at a scale of 2. Perfect. Okay, then we can delete this one. Now it's at a size that we want it. And what we'll do is we'll copy this hanging light here and drag it over to this one, and all we're gonna do is reset its position. Drag it back out here. Kind of zero out some of the things here. I'll just delete that little root there. Now we've replaced those lights. Ah, another question from Marty SH. How do the flags flail in the wind? And you answered it in the first word there, blend shapes. It is using a blend shape animation. Same as those large sails up there. Those are all using blend shape animations. And if you look at the MMC trophies for quite a few of the years, they use this animation method as well. Now, making the cloth simulation loop, that was a pain, but the raw assets for all this stuff will be finalized and released in the Essentials folder as well soon, and you'll be able to see exactly how it is made. It's technically using a, well, of course, a wind simulation, but also turbulence added on top of it. And then what is done is I took the animation, turned it into a interesting format that is like a point cluster, and then took that out of there re-imported it back into Blender, and then it turns it all into keyframes of blend shapes. And then from there, actually no, there's an important thing that I missed. After making the simulation, I bake that simulation, then I do a specific technique to blend the end and the start of the animation, and then turn it into a looping animation. Then I export it as a weird point cloud point cluster mesh and bring it back in, and it keeps all the texture UV data on it, which is good, and it turns into a whole list of blend shapes here, and then you just merge. Where's the button here? Merge blend shapes right there. So I click that, and it just puts it all into there. Now remove a blend shape that turns it into like the base frame where it's static or completely flat, so it doesn't have a jitter. It kind of slightly has a jitter, but my theory is it's the garbage collection within Resonite, and that's one of the things that'll be improved in the performance updates. And that is one of the things why I'm not too worried about Uber optimizing everything in here, because the platform itself will be updated too. Because there already is things that we accounted for, adding or consolidating materials, consolidating meshes if it makes sense to do so, and textures, and simplifying the colliders when possible. Yeah, blend shapes are weird, but you can do that with them, which is really, really useful. So even this thing has a blend shape animation on it. It's not a displacement material. The plants and leaves are on the outside, but these aren't. It's so that we can have like the extra detail maps on it and emissions. Do we use this in any part of the cloud home? No. Ah, we don't need it. We do, however, use these, so I'm gonna deal with this next. We got two of them right here. And there's a third one over there, which I'll just remove the light. Lamppost curved. Okay, so we'll just pop it into there. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to update the lamppost again. Or not. Okay, I'm gonna have to move that there. Set rotation. Let's put that there. Delete the old curved lamppost. And then... Actually, I will duplicate this. That's a component, that's not the thing I need to duplicate. Alright. This will be saved again into the essentials. If people are planning to update their cloud homes or whatnot, I recommend when we're fully done, like working on these worlds, to really start messing around with fully. But we'll update what's been done in the devlog, because I've been posting a lot in there of what we've been doing. I'm gonna duplicate this a couple more times. Which one is... okay, good. Reset transforms. Drag it into there. delete the old one. Well, that looks so much nicer. And one more to do. Curved lamp. Reset its position. And there we go. Delete. Wait, did I just... I deleted the wrong thing. That's actually, I think, the mesh of it. Oh. There was a fourth one. Okay. That explains a lot. And then we replace the last one. Move it there. This one in particular, we're gonna remove the... There's two hanging lights underneath this one. What? Oh... Of course. Well, speaking of leaving things accidentally. Yeah, that one's an older one. Just gonna delete that. And then update the one again. Oh. And actually, I'll just clear that entirely. And then as long as the hanging light snapping point is there, it's good. This one in particular is a little bit different. So if I take, let's take this crossbow for example. Yeah, we still gotta set up that one. It's a little Easter egg. Already got a template thing to update it with. You didn't see anything. Well, that does give the question of what the heck happened here. Hanging light. Okay, I am going to move this under there. Same with this. And just remove the old light stuff. Which one is it? Oh, that's the one on the bridge. Okay. Now if I change the color... let's do... green. Yeah, the light's also green. Okay, good. Then I hit cancel. Yeah, it's all good to go. Now, to take this lamppost, I must have accidentally deleted the components here. So I'll grab the object root component and copy it into there. In a grabbable, duplicate that, and save this into the inventory. Bring two. Okay, here we go. Save held. And let's delete those two older versions of it. And now we can replace the ones that we just replaced. Okay. The one on the balcony doesn't need to be replaced. Only these two. Which are the first two? Position, rotation, scale. Delete that one. Gonna duplicate this again. Put it into the first one. Awesome. Gonna delete this. Also, folks, if any of you have any questions about Resonite, feel free to ask. I do have the chat with me. Alrighty. Okay. I got these lights left. I think I kind of want to do this one first. Got this right here. And we also got one right here. Also kit bashed a little bonsai tree into here. Using one of the floating planters. Swap this out. This one. Go. And it's old light fixtures. We'll organize it into the new stuff. That one's the new one. Delete that. And what I can do, duplicate this. And set transforms again. Also going to unhide that little book that's on there. And the little sticky note on it. I can delete that one right there. Hanging spotlight, where's that? Oh, right there. Okay, we can do those next. Three more left, and then I'll... Oh, yeah, I'll fix the particles next. That should do it. So we got... spotlight there. Hanging light rings. Wait, what? Well, that one's the old one. That one can go. Another question from Marty. Do hero colors from the color palette mean certain things? I've noticed that cyan means public, sociable, purple means invisible, private, etc. That is a good question to poke in the Discord about, because I know Chroma has made kind of like the design language of the iconography as well as the color palette marketing. And I do know it's like roughly kind of like going off of what other things would use in regards to those colors. Some of it's like reused and some of it's used elsewhere. There's some things that kind of break the color palette a little bit here and there, like this orange or blue, for example, but it's mainly just for visibility. Yeah. It's even also reflected in like the color of the crystals. Like within here, it's just going to be like the default blue, and the sails are that default orange, and the ones in the avatar world are green, the color palette. You can also have like the default color palette options right here, like the different various tints. I wonder if Chroma still does office hours or if they're planning on doing them again in the future. That'd be a good question to ask there. Alrighty, let's place these two little spotlights here. Actually, no, there's also 3 of them there. It's more than I remember. And boop. Make that thing non-grabbable. I'm just gonna try I have an idea. So if I get the position of this, place it in there, and take the rotation, place it there. That's the wrong thing. Place it there. Alrighty. Awesome. Delete the old one. And move it into the new light fixtures. And it is a little bright. Wait, something's not right. It is a spotlight. Okay. I thought it was a point light. Okay. So what we could do, panel spotlights. Let's see here. Let's see if that's the one. Doesn't look like a spotlight though. That's what's weird. Is it like a second light fixture there? Okay, I'm gonna move this back. Now I know which one it is. And let's up its intensity again. I think its range just needs to be changed. That means I'll have to update the one in the defaults. 1, 2, 8. Sorry. That was a point light, but it was saying... I'm not going to question that. That means this one might be a false spotlight. Okay. That that is much better. Okay. Uh, okay, now to update these again in the essentials. Alright, let's fix this one up here. Depending on how much time we have, we may only have enough time for me to just work on the lights alone. Let's see how... Oh, oh, yeah, of course. As soon as I think about time, I look at the time, it's already an hour. So I think I'll extend this an hour and a half. At least until I get these lights in. And update it in the essentials. Brooks usually does his over an hour, sometimes 2 hours. So it isn't too far-fetched of doing a stream this long. Delete the old ones, and now these two are syncing into the essentials folder. That one is identical to that, so that should be good. Now the only other one I may as well just delete this and just start duplicating this one. This goes to show the stuff that we do when working on worlds like this, or in general. Finding odd quirks here and there. Learning new building techniques, or finding bugs or issues we have with the models that we make. Tweaking them, fixing them up. Sorts. And now those two are different than those three, so replace those three first. So we'll duplicate this. Mirror lights. To make this simpler, do that. Okay, now it doesn't match. Fix the dynamic spotlight here. Finding the position. Putting that there. For those you didn't know, you can drag and drop numbers, colors, etc. just by pointing at these little inlets here. So I'm going to take this position here and drag it into the name here. Just does it. Do the same thing with the rotation, drag and drop, and now we're in business. I'm going to take this out here. Delete this spotlight in particular. And duplicate to the other two. Don't need to really change anything else other than its position. One more time. Now we can delete the mirror lights. And now they're replaced. Okay. Now we got two hanging spotlights here that are tall. Now I think this is already the right length. Let's take a look. That's roughly the right length, so that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna take this, open this, get to the root, drag it into here, reset transforms, make it not grabbable, place it into here, eat the old one, duplicate the new one, move it to where the other one is, move it again, and delete the other old one. Now we're in business again. I'm going to turn off some of these lights. Let's turn off these lights, and wall lights, table lights, and wall lights. Okay, let's actually keep these lights on. These are called sconces. You've probably seen them in fancy buildings here and there. Kind of like those light accents that are on the wall. Let's start replacing them. You'll be able to adjust each of these different light sets individually, which will come in handy. Mm. Sconce. Oh, I'm gonna have to just rotate it. That's why. 90 degrees. The other direction. Make it not grabbable. Start putting it in a new folder. Another question from Marty. Why dragon fruit and not any other type of fruit on the plate? These dragon fruits were made by Rue, another member of the art team. They are edible, and they are infinite. But maybe making more fruit in the future might be neat to do. Just something we'd figured to add a little bit more interactivity in the world. Are these in pairs? Oh, I see. The origins are off. Different, rather. I'm wondering what this looks like when it's hidden. I believe I'm gonna have to manually position all these. That is fine. It's a good time to do it anyways. Alright. Let's reset its rotation. Zero its position right there. Make it offset about 15 degrees? 10? No. 12 degrees. Okay. That's what I did in the Avatar world. It's too much. 9.9575. Good. Let's lower the... I like the lower height. I'll keep it. Now what we do is we copy it, spin it around, and place it out here. Which was exactly 10 units. Okay. Then... can delete the old ones now. Where'd it go? Who activated active camouflage on my inspector? Okay. Now what we can do is rename some of these. Sconce. Pivot. And sconce. Air. Root. And now we move that where it should be. New light fixtures. Oh, resetting its rotation moved it over there. $60 minus 12. So 48. Okay. And then let's do positive 48. See where it is. Nope. Okay. 60, 72. Okay. There we go. Now I can delete these. Go through the list here. Great. $12 more to go. Although I'm doing 2 at a time. What I am going to do to line this up, I'm going to use this floor here. Move this right here. Reset its position. Move it back out. Now those lights are now in the wrong position, but that's fine. We can fix that. Wrong one to move. Did I not drag it over? There we go. Now we reset its rotation. We're all in the center here. I'm guessing around 120 degrees. Okay, we'll add 12 to it. 132. And then one. The other one is 120 minus 12. 108. Okay. Ourselves the lights replaced. Those. Now we're gonna get the large door here. I'm gonna duplicate this again. And we'll do negative 128. Ooh. Okay. 120. Looks like we're gonna have to position these quite a bit different. So let's do 160. Too much. 30. Too little. 40. Almost there. 48. Nope. 142. Okay. Let's delete that. Or not delete it, but copy it. $98. There we go. We can get rid of these four. Okay. Almost done. Let's duplicate those two down there. Bring them back up here. Let's align these to where we want them to be. Okay, that. Reset the rotations of everything here. Well, this is very easy. 12 and negative 12. Then and finally delete the old light fixtures. And I'm also going to turn off wall lights for now. And let's do a progress save after checking one last time the route. Okay, that's the extra hanging light that we'll need later. Light fixtures. Stretch. Extreme Resonite Cloud Home Makeover. There we go. All that syncs up. I'm gonna see if... Oh. Hello, decoy. I... Hello. I guess I am John Resonite, or you mean... Are you referring to Frooks? He does their streams on Sundays. I'm just a dog. Well, not a yellow dog, but a gray dog. I'm just here replacing light fixtures in your home. I'm doing extreme home makeover here. Also, I was actually considering of closing the world here or closing the stream, but I usually do office hours every Wednesday around an hour ago. We usually start and answer questions for creating content in here, or artwork, or using Resonite for creating content outside of Resonite, like using it as a tool. But uh, since folks joined in, I could answer a few more questions if people will have any. It is 1 hour and 23 minutes in, so could fit in some more. I did say an hour and a half, so I will go the full hour and a half. John? Where did I put John, you ask? They're in another castle. As in another stream, rather. Yes, I totally put... I found out how to save users into the essentials. Oh. We already have 2 questions from Anadia Shark. So why are you changing the light fixtures? Good question. I'm not only changing the light fixtures, I'm actually... With the art team, we're replacing essentially everything. So if you know the story of the ship of Theseus, where you replace every part of the ship, is it the same ship? Pretty much doing the same thing, but with every single asset. Right now we almost have everything in there replaced, except for the skybox. I'll be updated. So things like the plants have been updated in Atlas. I'm going to be updating the particles for the leaves. Right now, they were set up for the Avatar world, so that's why they're also floating about in here. They just need to be repositioned. I can stop into that other world real quick too, which I'm going to have to replace the light fixtures in there. But neat thing about these lights, you can adjust them and control them in here. Is in this little control panel. So I can click that, turn on, you can change the lights, and it'll change the lights of these in any world that they're in. So if that panel's in the world, it'll connect to that. Otherwise, by default, it'll just be on and as this color. So I'll just demonstrate that you can change the colors by doing this. I hit cancel, it goes back to the normal color. Now, to answer Qualitorium's question, I could literally just go into my dashboard and boop. Here we are. This is the Avatar Gazebo. For those that don't know, this is a world that we're working on to teach new users how to not only find avatars, but to potentially make them from the ground up. Now we'll probably have this world ready in a state where you'll be able to learn how to find avatars, but making a tutorial how to make one from the ground up will take a little bit more time. I just realized those birds just flew right through there. I'll have to fix that later. But yeah, I gotta replace all these lights since they've been updated once again. but the most up-to-date lights are now in the essentials. And there's a couple other things that need to be added here, like avatar accessories, a couple of avatars that we can use, and of course, information panels. I also added that supporter panel or poster in here. Like, pretty much as soon as you come in here, you got the spawn here. Go through these doors, you got the main area, you got like avatars to select from, and you can click this to cycle through them. As well as information panels right here, accessory places right there, and down here is a wide open area where you'll be able to learn how to build one from the ground up. That pretty much covers this world. Now I got another question from Echo Sangen. If you replace Cloud Home with Cloud Home 2, but then you make Cloud Home from the old Cloud Home, is if you replace Cloud Home with Cloud Home 2, but then you make Cloud Home from the old Cloud Home, is it still Cloud Home? Yes. Yes. You almost broke me. Ah, gosh. Another question from Decoy. How much Cloud Home can a home be if home is Cloud of 2, but how home is Cloud? Of course. How much cloud can a home be if home is cloud of 2? But how home if cloud is 2? Home cloud is 2 if home. Oh, you succeeded. You succeeded in tongue twisting me. Have been decided to choose? Apply today. Uh, oh yeah, this thing right here. That is also in the essentials now. It's been self-contained and updated. Can't seem to think of anything else that I need to do other than those particles. But I think I should do another progress save for sanity check. And probably take a break after this stream. And then I'll fix those particles. It's like even before the stream, like yesterday or actually the past week, we've been working on not only updating all the assets, also updating all the textures, particles, etc. that we have in the essentials, including the raw assets like the blend files, the uh, substance painter files, or uh, text files, stuff that people will be able to mess around with and play with. There's a lot of tools, or all the tools are in there. All the pieces are in there too, and furniture, as well as some stuff that we haven't really finished nor needed to use for the old set. Ryuvi, I know, is making a brand new modular set for making buildings and creating worlds in this style. It's much more flexible. Literally thousands of more pieces just in like the raw building pieces alone. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything that I want to say in the stream. Other than, I really appreciate folks coming in and asking questions in here. It's always good to help people out with, well, learning how to make stuff in here, or even about the platform in general. And to also ramble here and there, or even sometimes work on things like this stream. But all in all, it's probably, yeah, an hour 32 minutes. It is definitely a good time to close down, but I hope everyone has a wonderful evening or morning, depending on where you are, and a good Wednesday or Thursday, depending on where you are. You all have a wonderful, wonderful time. Bye bye. I'm still tongue twisted.